Well, that was perfect.
Excuse me.
Okay, welcome to the City of Laconia Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, September 17th, 2025. I'm Dean Hanson.
Deb Williams?
Bob Harrington?
Lisa Moore.
Jen Kreitzer.
Gray Draper.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to start out by saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so Gray Draper is our staff in attendance. Thank you. He's also our recording secretary. This man is wearing so many hats. Okay, so the first is to review the minutes from September 3rd.
I move we accept the minutes of September 3rd for the Laconia Conservation Commission.
I will second that.
Are there any comments?
Yes. I don't think I said, so this is under Lake Coast for Messer Street Ramp, where it says, the program was staffed by Meg, and that is not her spelling of her name. And who will not be returning next year due to relocation. I don't think I said that. She is relocating, but I don't want to jump to the conclusion that she's not going to.
Okay, you want me to strike that?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And,
And her name is AIMAN.
Okay.
Thank you.
okay, any other comments? No other comments?
That's it. There's minor typo down in 12.1.
12.
The U is eliminated from molten in that paragraph.
Oh, right. Draper reports that the molten lava cold cove.
Nitpicking.
No, that's important. Somebody might look at that 100 years from now and say, "Where's that?"
Anything else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The appended minutes, say aye. Opposed? Nice, okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Gray. Okay. Do we have any DES permits?
We do not.
Okay, good. I mean, not good. All right, the rain garden. So here's one of the, so the area that's going to be the rain garden has golf ball size rocks.
Did you put a look at it?
And I tried to dig them just with my hands. And it's hard to keep them away so that they're, they don't keep falling back in. So, Lisa, I'll talk to you about this afterward, but I think that if we had a plant pot that we cut the bottom out of, and then dig it down to the depth we want, put the plant in, and then backfill. Because we can pull the, does that sound like a,
Sure.
okay, all right.
My thought was to get, what did I tell you?
PVC?
It's like the landscape, edging, and put it around each of them. And that way it would keep the rocks back while the plants are growing.
It would also keep the soil in place as rain and snow melt.
I was just over there and I'm kind of surprised at the size of stone that they used. It's not really conducive to plants.
Yeah,
And actually it surprised me what I saw. I thought we were gonna have one rain garden section, and instead it's the rain garden, and then there's a huge overflow section with the big drain thing sticking out. More like a retention pond
Yeah, well,
thing. So, were you planning on planting both of the areas?
Yes,
Okay. It just, I feel bad because I feel bad for the plants because it's gonna be hard for them with those heavy stones. I mean, we'll have to definitely get them started and,
well, you've ordered them? Have you ordered the plants?
we don't have the plants yet.
I know you don't have them, but I don't know if you'd ordered them. So are they,
I gave Patty a list of plants.
are they quart size, or do we know what size they are?
No.
Okay. I was just,
She was gonna see what they had
Okay.
and keep them in her greenhouse until we're ready to plant them.
well, the reason I bring that up is I might have some extra pots, the thin walled pots. If they're quart size, I have to double check, because I don't buy things in the gallon size, so, okay.
Yeah, it's, definitely need something to hold back those stones while the plants get situated.
yeah.
Like I said, it's not, I've never planted a rain garden like that before. It's always been with mulch or
Yeah.
tiny stones.
Yeah, I've never used, to be honest with you, I've never used stones. I've always used chunk
I mean,
mulch.
they're big stones.
Yeah, well, either it was for money or they had a reason, so
Right.
it's not insurmountable.
Well, I think the other possibility is that the specification by the engineer called for that size rock.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I mean, so that's why usually you use chunk mulch, because otherwise it could drift away, but it's fine. I think depending, how can I say this? The plants will situate themselves over time, but you don't want the soil washing away into the
Right.
rock.
Right.
We'll be okay.
The grass looks wonderful. The grass it's all filled in now. It looks, on that left side where there used to be a big rut that went down to the lake, you can't even tell there was ever anything there. It's kind of amazing. So, and then they do have the channel on the right side, but it doesn't go, it stops before, the lake, so it gives it a chance to percolate in. That looked good. I was just surprised at the design, because that's,
Well, it wasn't,
I hadn't seen it since the original design, I guess, so.
I don't wanna say it's typical of that project. Anyway, okay, so, I mean, we'll just have to figure out how to do it, and when I talked to Patty and told her what we wanted to do, she said she was gonna give us some soil
Yeah.
to put on the bottom so that they have extra soil, the plants have extra soil to grow in.
Right, so you're contacting the bottom of this pot of the plants to soil, right? You're not contacting them to rocks.
Right.
Right, that's what I
the
understood
goal.
you to say.
The goal is the plant.
That's what I understood you to say, right? Okay.
That's, we'll
Move
see.
the rocks in, away from where each plant is
Well, if
going.
she's giving you extra soil, you can also build up the soil under it. I mean, that's,
Right. And the other thing I thought was that if we had some of that landscaping fabric, and we put that in the bottom, that would hold the soil in place and allow the roots to grow through it.
Not as well, I don't think.
landscaping fabric is not the,
Well, maybe landscaping fabric is the wrong, but I was gonna talk to Patty and tell her what we're trying to do and see what her suggestion was.
yeah, I mean, so a landscaping fabric is designed to push back weeds, so you don't want to inhibit the plant.
Right.
Right, so you might want to talk to her about some sort of medium. What I'm thinking is like what, like they use for like green roofs. They have, it's like a spongy material that you put underneath and the roots grow into it.
Right, that's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
so landscaping fabric is not, terminology, that would not be what I would use. I would, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't have to be the only one that talks to them. I mean, you guys know more about it than I do, so I'm open.
I'll be honest with you, I am so overwhelmed right now that I won't have any time until after your planting date.
Okay.
So I apologize, so.
Anybody else have any ideas?
So I did tell Bree that, you know, you would be looking for volunteers,
Oh, good, okay.
so.
So I
And
just,
she did, you know, she still wants to do the water testing also,
okay, so you have to give me Bree's
Yes, I'll give
phone
you
number,
her.
okay,
her info.
okay.
I can, I mean, I can certainly help, obviously, you know, depending on the schedule, but,
Yeah, so my idea of doing it was, maybe the Wednesday of that week, which would be like the 24th. No, we do the 25th, because the 24th, we're doing water testing, right? All right, so the 25th,
Oh, you didn't tell me.
26, 27, 28, that's what I was looking at,
For what?
for doing the planting.
You have the 22nd down.
I know, well, that's.
A week of the 22nd, I apologize.
That's okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because when I talked to Scott, he said that he would be willing to help do the planting and that he would get some of the local residents. Because I think it would be a good neighborhood kind of project where we can, you know, where we can direct them doing it, but they would help us. I talked to some other people who are on the Master Gardener board, and they said they could get some people to help us. So I think, you know, if we got 5 or 6 people,
So you're looking at the 25th for that? Or,
yeah, the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th,
okay,
probably those 4 days.
okay.
Because I think that, you know, the first day, we have to figure out how we're gonna do it.
Right.
And then we have to do it. And leave it on the weekend so that we get a lot of people who can participate.
Right.
I mean, does that, I mean, how do people feel about that?
I think on this one, you need to make an executive decision and just say, this is what we're doing. These are the dates, this is what we're doing.
I can't, yeah, because I'm not available, so
Right.
it's up to you.
So I think one of the things is maybe, so I have a plastic pot that's about, the top diameter is about like this. And then the bottom is like this. And I was gonna cut the bottom out so that I could put it upside down. and then plant in it, and then when I pulled it up, the bottom part is bigger than the top where the plant is, so it should go over the plant, not damage the plant.
Right, I guess I didn't understand the size of the stones when we talked.
I'm sorry?
I didn't understand the size of the stones when we talked over the weekend. And so as Deb was describing them, I think one of the things that we want to be considerate of is that as it rains and you get, that soil is gonna settle away from the plant. So if there's a lot of voids in those rocks, you might wanna leave.
That's why I was thinking of the edging.
She's talking about the edger, that could be,
Plastic edging.
that could be too, though, where you use your landscaping fabric for about 4 inches.
Right, I think,
Right. And then, I mean, because that you could leave in place until they get, situated better.
It's up to you. I have some thin landscaping fabric that I can donate to your project if that's what you want to try.
okay, the other is, what's the material called that they planted the seed, the grass seed on? Jute?
Probably.
I mean, that would work too, because it's straw.
Is it plastic filament bound? In other words, did they just lay stuff down, or was it something in a roll that?
It was something in a roll.
Okay.
I mean, that kind of material, will decay, but will hold this stuff
If
back,
it's plastic,
Well, that's,
and the
yeah.
roots can go through it.
some of it is plastic.
Yeah, I don't know if they use biodegradable fiber to
That would be
hold it together. It doesn't
microplastics.
matter. If they've already used it, they've used it. So just whatever they have, go ahead and use it. That's just my comment, is you don't want the soil to wash into the voids and leave the roots a little bit more exposed than you might want. All these ideas are great. Why don't you do a few of each? Make it an experiment, see what happens.
It's like a scientific test.
Yeah, no, seriously. So, see what works, because you'll have to do some replanting in the future at some point, and that way you'll know what works best.
It's a good idea.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, anything else on Gale Avenue?
You didn't get to talk to Patty today?
No.
Okay.
Can I just make a comment going back to the Department of Environmental Services? Do you mind?
Sure.
I know we don't have any plans, but, so I've had several people tell me now that getting any information out of DES is becoming very difficult because they're just so understaffed or overwhelmed.
They
I
don't
had-
want what?
Understaffed or overwhelmed. I don't know exactly which, but I had, in the capacity of my work, I had a town call me going, do you know anybody at DES? Because we're not hearing back from them, and we've got plans down there, and we have questions. And what it finally turned out was just that the department was overwhelmed. So I'm just making that comment, that just to kind of be aware that, I guess, because we also have a project, through work, we also have a project that we've been waiting several days for an answer on what was a pretty straightforward question, so.
And so that goes back to my concern about the Pickerel Pond project submitting their application to DES. Because DES, has approved but not monitored projects. So I think we need to have the applicant come before us and tell them that we are going to monitor their project. Even if they get a DES permit, we are going to monitor the project because of how sensitive it is.
For the Pickerel Pond one, I feel like because they'll have to come before Conservation Commission anyways, it's kind of covered. So yeah,
Okay,
that makes sense.
okay, good. I knew you'd run interference off for me, thanks. Okay. Okay, we have the Concom project list, and we haven't put any details in, except we have, we have information about intermittent streams that we got from Meredith, Meredith Conservation Commission, where they said they treat intermittent streams the same as they treat, like, Class 1 streams. And we have a lot of intermittent streams this year. So I think if we took that approach when it came to our wetland regs, I don't remember how we left the intermittent streams in the wetland regs. Do you remember offhand?
I believe there was a conversation, because last
In the
meeting we
minutes, yeah.
discussed how Meredith treats them like class 1 streams. And then kind of just put a pin in it. Like, I think everyone said they were gonna come up, like, do some research and find some specific language that you could reference and how you wanna write what you add, to the wetland regs. So it was kind of a independent research phase, then to draft actual language that you wanna adopt into it.
What if we just changed what we already have to say Class 1 and intermittent streams will be treated this way in terms of a buffer?
Yeah, that would be, if you just wanna keep your draft like short and sweet like that, yeah. I don't know, maybe they'll have to put it under like its own header or something, or maybe they can put it in the table and just kind of mesh it into what's already existing. That would be a question for, like, as to where you would want it in the wetland regs. That would be a question for Tyler, just because he would be able to make it a more cohesive document.
Yeah,
But
I
for
think
whatever
it-
you
yeah.
want for language, just come up with some kind of draft, even if it's just a sentence like that. And then you could be like, reference whatever the table is, and then add it to the table as well.
Because it sounds like, I thought we discovered that DES did the same thing, that they consider intermittent streams the same setbacks as Class A.
We were discussing it, but I can't remember where it landed.
I think-
If we determined that they did or not.
I think it came down to Meredith, yes, said they did, and somebody else said DES is the same, that they treat it the same. So I think to just include it in that paragraph
Yeah.
would be enough. And then if somebody had questions about it, we could clarify it, but I don't know if we want to put it in a whole different heading.
Okay, so what it says now, within 30 feet from the top of bank on each side of intermittent and perennial streams, the streams shall be shown on and will correspond to the latest version of the U.S. Geological Survey's map. That's what it says now. Okay,
Is it
so,
on the chart too?
so in the chart, it shows intermittent or perennial streams 30 feet. That's the buffer. And it's 30 feet from top of bank on each side.
In the class, other streams are 50.
Brook or stream contiguous to public waters is 75. But it doesn't have other streams. It's not, other streams are not in the table.
maybe we should add, how many classes are there?
It doesn't make any difference. 1, 2, 3,
No,
4,
no, no, I
5,
mean,
6.
Stream classes? I think-
yeah,
3 or 4,
I was gonna say 4.
I think
could
they're
be
4.
wrong. I think they're 4.
class 1, 2, 3, and 4.
so we should add that also, just to cover everything.
Okay,
Can we just say all stream classes, all classes
Any
of
puddle.
streams?
Any puddle.
And what's the distance we're saying?
75.
Well,
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 on either side, from
From top of bank.
top of bank, 75 on either side, right?
So the intermittent and perennial stream right now is a 30-foot buffer, but what
Right.
Dean just read was a 75-foot buffer.
So if I live on the left side, I have to be 75 feet back, and if I'm on the right side, I have to be 75 feet back.
Right.
We didn't,
Hmm?
this was, I shouldn't, I don't know if I should say anything. I don't believe a discussion that we've had on this in the past was well received. Am I correct on that?
Actually, I thought when we went to the city council and talked to them about it and explained that when we had a class 1 stream, that's the source of your drinking water.
Yeah.
Then that was the point at which they said, oh, okay, now we understand.
Okay. I remember there being,
But there was pushback, you're right.
because they were very concerned about, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I could very well be wrong. We have a lot of existing things that are already within that buffer, and they felt it would unfairly infringe upon development of smaller lots, I thought.
that's why we ended up with performance zoning.
Okay, well, I don't want to, I just want,
So I think what we, then, you know, to be consistent, what we need to do is intermittent or perennial streams need to have a 75-foot buffer, not 30.
okay. I won't argue with it.
That, like you said, it was easy to sell because the main streams are part of your drinking water.
So, Gray, I'm sorry to ask you this question again. Who was the wetland reg changes going to be approved by? Planning board,
Council,
city council?
ultimately council, yeah.
But first it has to go,
I think it has to
Through
see
the planning department?
board first. I'm pretty sure it has to get an okay from planning board and then ultimately goes to council.
right,
I know either way, this one goes to council, that's why we started with the checklist, because that was easily adopted.
Right.
Through planning board, yeah.
And that's in effect now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's put in intermittent and perennial streams at 75.
You can try, yeah.
I mean, what's the worst could happen?
We'll say no
They
and
say
you
no.
just change the number.
Right.
Well,
well,
they could, go ahead, Deb.
I mean, I'm thinking of places like in the industrial park, where you've got an intermittent stream that goes by,
Mhm.
and 75 feet is pretty far.
It's pretty far. It's pretty far but, you know, so let's take the industrial park. That water goes, it goes into that wetland by the gas station. It goes under the road into,
OPG.
it goes into, first it goes into Tardif, the Tardif Conservation Area, and then it winds up in Opechee.
Right.
And then Opechee goes into Winnisquam.
But you have quite a buffer there with the marshland, the wetlands there, the Tardif
Well,
Conservation.
yeah, but we're talking about not contaminating Tardif.
Right. I'm just trying to be practical.
Well, and my thought was, if, it sounds, it's a large increment to make the change on. And what's the worst that could happen is they start saying, oh, the Conservation Commission's unreasonable. That's, I'm just thinking, right now, we have good I'll call it capital with them in that they respect our opinion and all that, but if we present something to them that they've already pushed back on, and now I know, I didn't understand that whole thing about the first order stream, but, because that might make a difference. That was my initial sense, was there might be some on there that feel like, whoa, you know,
You could
Well-
try 40.
So,
I was thinking 50. but-
so, we could use the argument that we contacted DES, and they said they treat it the same way that they
Yeah.
treat a Class 1.
Hmm.
We talked to Meredith, they said they treat it the same way.
Right.
So we're just being consistent with the state and with other conservation commissions.
I'll support 75. I just, you know, I thought I would share my gut reaction to your question, what's the worst that could happen?
No,
So,
well, wouldn't be the first time I pushed.
yeah, I know, and that's not always a bad thing, so.
So what do we want to do?
I move that we change the recommendation to be 75 feet for perennial and intermittent streams, to be consistent.
I'll second.
Any comments? Okay, all in favor of making it 75 feet, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
What are the other measurements on that table?
I'm sorry?
Are there any other different measurements on that table?
You know, one of the reasons to have a larger buffer on streams and intermittent streams is because when we start getting a lot of rain, those streams will go outside their banks.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Versus, you know, wetlands, you probably have a larger capacity to expand and not go outside their banks. Anyway, okay, so, what was it, question?
Are there any other setbacks on there that,
So the setbacks are designated prime wetland 100, brook or stream contiguous to public waters 75, wetlands 50, exempt wetlands not applicable, vernal pools 100, and intermittent or perennial streams, we're gonna change to 75.
Do we have an inventory of how many of our intermittent streams and streams are channeled? Like with stone walls, or, I'm just thinking into your argument about flooding. So,
Well, okay, so I don't know how many are channeled, but look at Black Brook. What happens when we get a tremendous amount of
Oh,
rain?
oh, yeah.
It goes outside the banks, right?
Right, well, and I'm just thinking of Jewett Brook, because I remember
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Jewett Brook has hardscaping,
Right.
which exacerbates its flooding and all that,
Right.
so.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Okay, so 75. Good, thank you.
Are we going to talk about Jennifer's excellent work on these project sheets?
The what?
Her
Project list.
excellent work, her project sheets, project lists.
Well, we can.
No, I mean, it was on there, I didn't know if we had to, like, approve them, or just know that they exist now and refer to them, or. And I did have my pet project of poo management didn't make it, so I didn't know if you guys got the information I had
Yes,
sent
I
Greg.
did.
Oh, did?
Yeah,
Oh.
thank you. Okay, so in
Oops.
I'm just trying to trying to decide what's the best use of our time, so that we don't get into,
I don't need to talk about it.
So, we can go through, so it's revising and updating the wetland regs, that's what we were just talking about. So the water quality overlay, what do we have about that? I don't,
Where,
is that the, is that the aquifer protection that we were talking about?
yeah.
Okay, so I have the map that's in the city somewhere, because I got it from the city. And I forgot to bring it, I apologize. Or maybe I did bring it, and I didn't know, who knows? Okay, I didn't bring it, but I will bring it to the next meeting. So, we already have the checklist, and we can show that to them. The NRI inventory. So, the inventory RFPs were due on September 5th. We got one proposal from FB Environmental. And their, Gray, could you send everybody their response, please?
Yeah.
Okay. I read their response. I thought it was consistent with what we were looking for. The one question I had was, they talk about having a lot of computerized maps, and, you know, for the general public, they may not have access to those. And I thought what we should do is ask them for paper copies. And I don't think they'll have a problem doing that. Needless to say, since their proposal was just a little bit under $18,000. And they said that if we wanted them to do site-specific work, it was going to be about $2,400 per day. And then we may have to pay mileage on top of that. So I talked to Rob to ask him what we had to do. So what we have to do is we have to post that we're gonna have a public hearing 10 days before we have the meeting, saying that, to discuss using the conservation funds to pay for this study. So we can decide how to spend the money, but we need the public to give us input. And Rob said, just stay with the $18,000 approximately. It's $17,950 or something like that. I forget the exact number. Do you remember what it was? Okay. So he said, stay with that. Don't enter in any extra days. And so so Gray did a
We
notice.
the paper.
and notice to the paper that on October 10th, which is the next Conservation Commission meeting, there's going to be a public hearing.
The
October
third,
1st.
I'm sorry, whatever I said doesn't make
10 days.
sense.
the
Same thing.
first, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. October 1st. So, and I think you put on there at 5 o'clock?
Yep.
Okay. So we need to have a quorum, because after we get their comments, then we have to vote. Right?
I believe so.
I think that's it, but, I asked if Tyler and Rob and Gray would sit down and give us, you know, essentially tell us what information we need to share with the public about this project, so that they understand it. So the public hearing is on the 1st of October, and we'll see how many people come. So the good news is, we got a proposal from a legitimate firm.
Yep.
FB Environmental submitted, in their experience section, they talked about doing exactly this kind of a study for Molten Borough and one for
Maybe after.
New Hampton. And I asked them to email us copies of those studies, so we can see the kind of thing that they, the kind of product they were putting out. So,
It's good.
It's exciting.
no comments? Okay,
I said it's good.
okay. There
And then-
is,
Oh, sorry. And then they were gonna help with the natural resources chapter of the master plan also?
okay, so when I asked Rob about putting extra money in to cover days for them to do specific sightings, areas that we needed to get more information about, that they couldn't get it from, just from what's available to the public, he said they are going to ask, he's gonna ask FB Environmental to do the chapter for the master plan, the natural resource chapter for the master plan. And at that point, he said, you know, you may have, he'll put in the comment that we may need site-specific information if, and to give us a price to do that. So I don't know exactly how he's gonna do it, but that was his plan.
What's the timeline on the NRI?
The NRI is essentially 1 year. It's gonna take, they said it will take a year from the time that they start until they finish.
Okay.
So they figured that they would start in September. We know that's not gonna happen. But if they start in October, then they should be done in October of '26. So when Gray sends you their bid, that would be, you know, that would be the time for for you to raise questions.
Thanks.
And I think they said that they were included in the $18,000 is in-person meetings with us, the Conservation Commission, 3 meetings. So, that's good. So their headquarters are in Portland, Maine. So,
So road trip?
yeah, that's it. You'll be ready to go. You're already packed. Okay, so, I mean, that's the story on the NRI. Any questions, comments, ideas? Okay. So we already talked about the natural resource chapter of the master plan, except that there is the first meeting of the master plan planning will be October 6th at 6 o'clock. And Rob told me that everybody on the Conservation Commission is invited to come to the meeting, and because it's a relatively open meeting, I don't know how many people he's expecting.
Yeah, so one representative from Concom, and then everyone else is welcome to join. I think they're trying to have at least one rep from most boards and commissions, just to get input.
Okay. Okay, so that's on, so I don't know, did Rob send that notice out to everybody? Did you get it?
I got one.
Okay,
I got it as well.
okay,
Was it,
so,
it was the second, right?
What? Wait, I don't know if I got it. What did it say?
it said that the master plan steering committee, is that what he called it?
So the steering
think I
committee
got
is like the one that's gonna have super limited seats. This is a meeting for the planning of the steering committee. So, this is the one that they want a lot of people coming to just to give their input, who are different representatives of the city.
And the date
I think I
again is
got
the
that, though.
second?
Okay.
It's the
I believe it's the
6th.
sixth.
John, 6th, okay.
It's the
sorry,
6th
missed
at
it.
6 o'clock.
Is that Monday?
Yeah, we did,
Yes.
Where are they doing it?
Probably
I
here.
think here.
Oh. They're gonna have to they're gonna have to use the mill probably.
I don't know. I don't think they'd fit everyone.
No, they're not gonna fit everybody.
I
I'm not sure.
can't remember what the email, I don't even know if the email actually said.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would
I
you
went
send,
out to you guys, not to
yeah,
me,
would you
so-
send it out to everybody, please?
Why don't
He-
you, why don't
he
you
didn't
send
get
it
it.
to me and then I'll send it back to all of you.
Wish I
I
could have
think
it.
you
Okay.
saw it, though. I think.
Maybe I did, maybe it was a while ago. How
It
long
was a
ago?
while.
It
ago.
was,
Oh.
like maybe a week or two.
Well, more than that.
It,
yeah.
it was, and then because I actually just saw it on, I think Monday. I was looking for something else, and it came up, and I responded, and I felt bad because it was like 10 days later or something.
Yeah.
So it was a while ago that the email was sent.
Maybe I
Okay.
just ignored it because I knew I wouldn't be around.
When are you coming back?
Not till the 10th.
Of October?
Right.
Oh,
If she likes it, maybe never.
I don't know.
Dear Conservation Commission.
Are we gonna get postcards? Okay, so, so that's a natural resource chapter of the master plan. Gale Avenue, we already talked about that. We didn't talk about the pollinator garden on the Wow Trail.
It's past, that's old news.
I'm sorry?
That's old news.
Right.
I know,
That's old
but
news.
have we looked at it lately?
But I talked to a guy who is one of the assistant scoutmasters in the Boy Scouts, the Boy Scout troop here in town.
Yep.
And he told me he said probably they could help us by putting the posts in and help us put the signs up.
Okay.
But he said, talk to Glenn,
Yeah.
and I did not talk to Glenn, so I will.
Yep.
Or
I
maybe
have those signs if you want them.
before you leave,
In case I'm,
in case you're having so much fun.
In case she joins the cheetah
There's-
conservation group.
by a
Deb.
lion.
Here's Deb riding a giraffe. She's lost.
Bowana.
All right, so, do you wanna call him, Lisa, or you want me to?
Oh, you should.
Okay, I'll call him. Okay, so, I forgot to ask FB Environmental if they have a, progress report for the, water department project. But who talked to, somebody talked to him and said that the buoy was up and running.
I saw, the water.
Ben.
I saw him at the ramp, at the boat ramp. And he said, yeah, it's up and running, they are getting great data from it, yeah. So,
Okay, good.
it's a good thing.
Okay. So maybe we can get, maybe I'll call Ben and see if he has a status report. I would like to see if he would put the Conservation Commission on the distribution. Could send it to Gray and then he can distribute it to everybody. Okay. All right, so that's the project list, I think. Is that all the project list?
No,
That's page 1.
that was yeah, for some reason, mine first came up like that, there you go. Okay.
So this was just because we had talked about at the last meeting, maybe having it a little bit more separated into, yeah, Lisa had mentioned it might be
Right.
more efficient just to have it be different categories, like the ongoing list of
Right.
projects, and then, kind of the yearly project, things like that. So that's all I did here,
gotcha.
was
Okay,
just
gotcha,
separate
gotcha,
them
gotcha.
out
Okay.
into, and I wasn't sure what would work better. So one of them is just like a document format, and then the other one is a sheet, so more like an Excel sheet. And it's just split out so that, I don't know, it might make it easier to update in the, going forward. I don't know if one's easier, to read for people, if, I just kind of did both to see what might work better. But
Okay.
they
Good.
all have the same information.
Right.
I like them both.
And then the one from before was just everything on one document.
Right.
So we kind of have options, whatever works.
I just wanted to say thank you for doing it.
Yeah, really.
I'm not married to one way or the other. I guess it depends on Gray in terms of how you would be utilizing this.
I enjoy both, so whatever, I guess, you prefer or I
So
prefer, depending on the day.
Then we should go to the end user who requested it, which would be the city council. Ask them, what is your preference? And that way we choose just one and we're not,
I would think the Word document,
yeah, well, but we should ask them and then.
only
we're not-
because I think it can explain a little bit more.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right. So
The Excel sheet kind of looks like it's an ongoing
Yeah.
list, which it is. But-
Right. It's, yeah. I think for for documentation purposes, I think the sheet works well, but I think for viewing purposes, the document works better. I don't know, just for my brain, but. And it might be easier, if it was to be incorporated into minutes or something like that, it probably would be.
As Word? Or, okay.
But again, great. I mean, you're kind of the one doing that, so whatever, I feel like whatever works better for you.
He likes the Excel.
No, I'm not.
I'm a big spreadsheet fan myself. But
So how many pages
I know
do you
not
have?
everyone is.
Three.
So.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah.
Right, but I had it in an Excel form. It kind of jumped, I don't know.
How did you get an Excel?
I don't
It's
know.
the
It
one right under it.
it jumped.
There's two right on top of each other. One is the list, and then one says sheet under it for com project. So there's two attachments right on top of each other on the agenda.
Oh, now I see, okay. Oh, I got you, okay.
But it's still all the same information. It's
Right.
just-
Yeah. So, what did we decide for a format?
I don't think it's up to us.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask the people who are gonna use it,
And
what works for them.
I mean, I think we should keep both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think if we need to present to the city council a certain, quarterly or whatever, they would much rather have a Word document. And we could expand on things if we needed to a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we already, so now that we dealt with those guys,
Well, you didn't finish. Did you want to finish? Or just go
Yeah.
down the list or not?
oh, I thought the list
That was the project list. Now we're on ongoing projects. I mean, we can just read them, and if anybody has anything to add, we can do it that way. And then continuing
So,
education.
I think maybe under Lake Coast
Yeah,
is just to list the number of boats that were inspected.
yeah, we don't need to say submitted grant application. It could be, if it's ongoing, that it could be that a grant application is submitted each year.
So I have a question about that, Gray. you know, that the city council will sometimes have a public hearing to see if they can accept a grant. In this case, I mean, we're talking about a grant of $1,000,
1,500.
$1,500. Do we have to get public approval of that? Maybe we shouldn't, but then we get a grant.
There's something about a $5,000 limit,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's also a whole process for accepting monies. And it had, just like, when we first went through round one with Gale Ave, we were like, oh, we'll just get it, you know, funded from the public, and then they were like, once it reaches a certain amount, you need to have public hearing. So 1,500, that's obviously under the 5,000 limit, so I'm not positive. I want to say we might be good, but I would double check.
I think we should go mum's a word.
Yeah. We could
Now
just,
we're recording.
we could, instead of saying that we submit the grant application, we could just put that we oversee the program each year.
Right.
Because it's an ongoing thing, and it's, and the same with the conservation easement requests. I mean, the city has put that Lafayette property into a conservation easement,
Right.
so, we could say that that is done, that has been a completed project.
So, just as an aside, over the last 2 or 3 weeks, 3 city councilors have thanked me for us educating them about the value of vernal pools. They said that it was really helpful to them, which I thought was 3 of them, you know, and they weren't like all together. They were totally 3 separate, anyway, so. It's clear that the city council appreciates us sharing information so they can better understand
Should,
what we're trying to do.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Should we follow up with an intermittent streams? If we're changing our setback, should we follow up now?
I think this is one of those let sleeping dogs lie, let's see what happens.
All right, I'm fine with that.
We can educate them, you know, I don't have a problem doing that, but
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it. I just thought I'd ask. Okay,
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to educate them in terms of the importance of conservation of water quality and water. I mean, this is the city on the lakes.
well,
Yeah.
and the fact that the water is conveyed through our infrastructure. I mean, I'm just trying to.
Right.
Because that's really the key for an urban setting, is that they understand the structure.
Right, and they understand how much water is used by certain things before they agree. I know the governor passed a bill that made it easier for independent electric producers.
Did you read about Texas?
She passed a bill making it easier for independent electrical producers to offer their services to businesses coming in, like cryptocurrency or artificial intelligence, which uses incredible amounts of electricity and water, and to the point where other states that have already put them into use, like Texas, and now I know they want to put big plants in Arizona and New Mexico, and they're depleting their water
Well,
sources.
Today, the story I read was that there's an area in Texas where they are asking the homeowners to reduce their showering.
Yep.
To not take as many showers, and separate from that, I've seen several, I think it was on YouTube, homeowners or associations talking about how high their electric bills are now because they're subsidizing these private businesses.
Because they're using the regular electricity off the grid. So the bill that the governor passed would make it so that our electric prices wouldn't go up because they wouldn't be using it from our grid. But it's still, it's still the same plant. I mean, you're talking about air pollution, because a lot of them are on generators.
Noise pollution.
And you're talking noise pollution, and you're talking water pollution. And, I mean, they say that down the road, they're gonna have their own coolant systems, and it's gonna be fine. But I've also heard them say, there was one plant that they're like, oh, yeah, we pump, we're right next to a stream, a river. So we pump the water out of the river, cool our computers, and it goes right back in. So we're not wasting any water. And the water's just a little bit warmer. And I'm like, oh. And then they talk about using a deep lake cooling system, which would be pumping water from the bottom of a deep lake and cooling off their equipment. It's going to be a huge problem. I mean, people, yes, they're all excited about what AI can do for me and cryptocurrency, but it's not natural. It's going to be a big problem. We don't have water resources anymore. We're very lucky in the East, and that's why I'm afraid we could be targeted by some of these companies.
Well, we have been targeted in the past to channelize our water and ship it out west. So, I mean, it's the same argument. I mean, locally, I guess that's what we need to be discussing locally and with our elections coming up, putting it on the radar of,
Yeah, because if we don't put some parameters around it now, it's going to be like the Wild West. I mean, there's that big company in Nashua that was bought by a foreign country, and it's a water bottling plant.
yeah.
Now, how much water are they going to use, and how much are they taking out of our state to ship wherever they want to ship?
Did I read that the governor, though, has kind of pushed back on that? Like, so you're up to speed on it.
But it was under the radar,
Yeah,
and they bought the place for 3 times that it was worth.
so I guess where I'm going with it, this is all very interesting, and I'm not poo-pooing any part of this, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, for us, the Conservation Commission, how are we gonna take this information and make it useful? Do we wanna make it useful? Do we want to maybe reach out to the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions, Barbara Richter, and say, is anybody doing anything on this? I mean, is there a coalition or something being formed that we could join? Or if there isn't one, maybe we start talking to Lakes Region Conservation Trust and the Lake Winnipesaukee Alliance and those people, because the trust, they do energy and transportation and all that, right? Lakes Region Conservation, not trust, Lakes Region Conservation Planning, I'm sorry. I got too many names in my head.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Planning,
they do.
LRCT,
Lakes Region
Planning Commission, sorry, that's it, I'm sorry. Was not kidding when I said my brain's overwhelmed.
So, I think that it would be, maybe the thing we could do is when we get ready to address this issue, is ask Shauna Saunders
Yep.
to come either Zoom or to come here, because she's the chair, she's the executive director
Right.
of Lakes Region Planning Commission.
But I love that idea of talking to Barbara Richter, because our conference is coming up in November, and it would be really, I think it would be
Timely.
fabulous to share information to all these different commissions in the state,
Yeah.
so that they are aware of what could be happening.
I can send an email to her tonight, just saying.
Good.
Do you want me to have her reach out to you, or?
Yeah. So you ask her what information she has and what anybody's doing, and, is this a topic that
It's late to add any
NHACC
kind-
should
yeah, I mean,
take on?
they already have their stuff planned out for their meeting, their workshops and stuff, but it would be,
Doesn't mean they couldn't have a vendor, like a
right,
exhibitor.
that's what I'm thinking, yeah. I know there's a group, New Hampshire Climate
Yeah, they're new.
football?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were at the Prescott Farm Day.
Right. And-
Oh, were they there?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And they were also at, the fall, the thing
the-
that
the-
we did.
yeah, the person you
At
wanna
the
talk
church.
to is Muff. Muff is on it.
Right. And I mean, I get their emails, but I don't always read them because there are a lot of them. But it's, well, I mean,
No, I'm just like,
because it's different people and they have different committees. They have,
right, right.
plastics committee, they have air quality,
You know who else is involved is Rick DeMark.
Oh, that same,
yeah.
oh, okay. Okay.
And of course, now I don't have any other stuff on here.
Well, anyway, so I'll reach out to Barbara tonight. I
Good,
won't talk
okay.
about it
But
right
I'll
now.
look through here and let you know the name of the organization because I'm sure they would be happy to come down to our conference and
Okay.
have a table.
You mean to New Hampshire?
The November 3rd, NHACC.
Yeah, I have that on my list to tell everybody.
Thank you very much. November 3rd.
Is it, I've got that date right, correct?
Yes.
It's where?
No, actually, it's the
Oh.
1st.
November 1st, sorry.
Saturday, November 1st,
Yep.
Pembroke Academy, 8:30 to 3:30.
Yep.
$60 a person because we're members. And we get reimbursed for that.
So this is a really good conference to attend because when you sign up, and the city will reimburse us for our fee, the $60. But when you sign up, they give you a list of topics, and you can choose, because they have it broken down into 3 or 4 sessions, and you just choose, I'm gonna go to this one, this one, this one, this one. And you don't really need to stick to that. You can, when you get there and say, I don't wanna go to another vernal pool one, I think I'll go to. So, but,
So it's the,
who has the announcement? Do you have the announcement, Deb?
for the conference?
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now, the group is the New Hampshire Environment, Energy, and Climate Network.
Yeah.
New Hampshire Environment and Climate Network.
Yes.
Okay.
Climate and,
Environment, Energy, and
Right.
Climate Network? Is that what you said? I heard energy somewhere.
I'm sorry.
Wait. New Hampshire Environment, Energy, and Climate Network. And they have, like I said, they have different committees according to what you're interested in. But then they also always have really good seminars that you can sign up for. So here's one on scientific support for the endangerment finding. I don't know what that's.
Okay. species?
No, it was scientists' advanced understanding of climate science and sciences is legitimate to be So, some of it I will say could be political. So they do react to,
Mm-hmm.
things that are happening in the world.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I can give you the email. I
Yeah,
can send them.
Send it to,
I'll
yeah,
send it to Gray.
okay. Then we can figure out. Okay. Okay, you're gonna send it to Greg?
Yeah, not right now.
Okay. Okay, so going back to, so are we done with the
I think, is Langley
project
Brook?
list?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Is Langley Brook next, is that, or did I miss that?
Hmm?
Langley Brook, we didn't discuss that, did we?
No.
Okay,
We didn't talk about that.
okay.
I think you know, in terms of Langley Brook, what did I do? I was going to talk to Lake Winnipesaukee Alliance and FB Environmental, because they were the ones who did this study, and essentially what I thought we could do was we could find out what needed to be done at each of the, I think there were 8 locations where the stream needed to have work done to reduce the amount of erosion. This would be a perfect year to do it. Before, I think that the state DES said before they would approve doing any work in Langley Cove to dredge, they needed to take care of the stream,
The project.
the erosion. So, anyway, I thought if we found out about how much it was going to cost to do the remediation part, then maybe what we could do is either go to, is Donna still doing Moose Plate grants and stuff like that, or is she,
She's trying to not do things like that.
she's trying not to do stuff from Florida? What's the matter with her?
She's got her hands full wrapping up what we already have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think we need to figure out if we want to get involved doing that and what the timing is for doing it. You know, because we're going to have to go back and walk the stream, there's going to be a
What
cost.
needs to be done, yeah.
There's going to be a cost involved, and so I could just ask FB Environmental and Lake Winnipesaukee Alliance how much it would cost to walk it with us and tell us what needs to be done in each place and come up with a cost estimate, and then you know, that might be a place that we want to use conservation funds to do the work, because otherwise Langley Cove is going to stay Langley Cove, which when you go and look at it now, it's like they have their own little beach.
Well, it's kind of everywhere now. I'm not surprised. It's so low.
Okay, so we're doing water sampling. We're doing water sampling Wednesday, and we're gonna see if we can do, depending on how long it takes. We may not have many places to sample,
We'll see.
so we'll see whether we're gonna do just Paugus Bay, or if we're gonna do Lake Opeechee also. So we're doing that Wednesday. Anybody got a Wednesday open, they wanna come out and?
I wish.
Okay. Lithium battery disposal, Lowe's has a bin you can put the batteries in for your charge to get rid of them.
Right.
So, that's simple.
Yeah.
A composting program for the city, I would suggest that we look at maybe that being a winter project.
I would reach out to Molten Borough and also talk to Matt Rose at Lakes Region Planning Commission, because I think he's the person up there that's done some outreach on that and maybe projects.
Okay. All right, I can talk to Matt, okay. Okay. What's the story on your trees?
My trees?
Yeah, your trees, your ones in Molten Cove.
Trees?
Did they already trim them?
Those trees.
How quickly we forget.
No update.
What?
I have not received an update from the condo association person yet. I was planning on spinning by their probably next site inspection just to see if there's any difference in terrain. But as you remember, it's kind of like packed behind those condos pretty close, so I'm thinking I'm gonna walk up and see if I see it. But nothing else. I don't know, we kept kind of just gave her the advice to speak with the abutting neighbor. So hopefully they did that. Hopefully no news is good news, but I'll find out.
Okay.
Some investigation.
And I called Rick DeMark, who used to be on the Conservation Commission here, and asked him if they put the yellow signs.
Yeah?
And he said to me, Dean, you are asking me to go back 25 years. There's not a chance that I can resurrect that memory.
That's a yes.
What?
That's a yes. You did it.
Yep, that's it. So you did do it.
There you go.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've been watching too many movies. Okay. Any new business?
I have staff report.
Oh, good, good.
Let's do that.
All right,
Okay,
let's
let
do
me
a staff
skip.
report. Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
So, my staff report was that I had a property owner reach out to me, and he is planning on submitting an expedited permit to DES to repair his retaining wall on the water that's crumbling and falling apart. He wants to get it done as quickly as possible in the next month or so, since the water's so low, to create minimal impact. He was thinking to do the expedited application, he would need a Concom signature. Then I was like, okay, yeah, just send it over to me, and I'll contact Dean and let him know that he has something to sign. And then he actually sent it over to me today and said, upon further examination, it seems like I don't need the signature. What's going on? So I was like, yeah, it's one of those where it's expedited, but it's a minor impact permit. So the Concom chair's signature is optional. If he gets your signature, DES would process the permit within 10 days. If you went forward and submitted it without your signature, they would take the usual 25 days to process and respond. So he said he would like your signature to get the ball rolling, so I'll provide that to you.
Okay,
Where's
so,
the property?
The property off the top is Birch Haven, 91 Birch Haven. Yeah, so
okay, so I can either do it Friday or Monday. I'm not sure about Friday, but Monday I could do for sure.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, all right, so,
Was it a recently purchased property? Because I know I think there was something for sale recently over there.
He did not say if he's a new homeowner, or if he's been there for a while. I'm not sure. He just said that he's in there and the retaining wall is kind of falling away, and he's like, I gotta.
And that's
fix
all he
that.
was looking to do.
Yeah, he's not looking to do any restorative work or change anything else. He said he just wants to take out that stone and replace it. So.
It's off Hilliard Road.
Off of what?
Hilliard Road.
Oh, okay. So it's in Pickerel Cove.
Anyways, that concludes my staff report.
thank you. Okay. Does anybody have anything else?
Well, did you?
Yeah, Bob does.
Bob does?
Yeah,
What's that?
Bob does.
Do you have
Bob has-
anything to report?
Oh, from Taylor Community.
Yeah, Bob has to talk
Yeah.
about the Taylor
Yeah,
community.
the grounds crew has been pretty busy up there in Taylor's, and especially in Blah Circle. They've taken down a number of trees. I'm not sure whether they're all diseased trees. That and they dug out the stumps there at Blah Circle and put in plantings.
So does the city have a policy on removing stumps when you cut down trees?
I don't believe so.
We've
We have
made,
state guidelines that developers have to follow about when they can stump after they cut down, but it's all dependent on the conditions of their approval.
And we've made recommendations before to leave stumps.
Absolutely. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, so like if it's part of your conditions upon planning board approval that you have to wait for this step to be done before you can stump, then we've had people who have gone ahead and done stumping before they were supposed to, and it created a bunch of runoff issues, so. Yes.
And now they're gonna be,
What's that?
tearing down the old Taylor home.
Well, I don't sure just how
Yeah.
quickly that's gonna happen.
That was in the paper today.
Oh,
Right
I
here?
missed it.
Yeah,
I missed it. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll have to look online.
yeah, they talked about they're gonna replace the whole building,
Yes, yes.
but they're gonna keep within the architecture. But, they said, because the building's over 100 years old
Yeah.
and has served them well, and I was like, well, I
Yeah,
guess it
yeah,
has,
yeah.
So I wonder if the Heritage Commission has anything to say about this.
Yep,
I don't
Bob
know.
and I were talking about that.
yeah.
I mean, it's come up before, I mean, not that the Conservation Commission is really, it's in their purview so much, but it's come up before that Laconia has just not been proactive about conserving its heritage. The Pearly home was the first, I think, the first big brouhaha about it, but
Right.
since then, we've lost others.
And the area where they're talking about adding two residents, Bob went to the meeting, I didn't go to the meeting, I don't know why, actually, I do know why I wasn't paying attention, is adjacent to the Conservation Commission, the Conservation easement. So Greg, could you look up the conditions of the conservation easement that's adjacent to Kinsman Drive? They gave us a conservation, but, some of the
How
conservation,
extensive is that? Because the bulk of that is adjacent to Bois Circle.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it goes down and to the backyards of some of the houses that are down, and I don't know what street
In
it is, but-
Ladeport, yeah.
What? Yeah, so, some of the easements, the person who gives you the easement can modify it or change their mind or whatever. So, we need to know, because it's, where they're talking about putting these two houses is very steep. So they'll have to bring in a lot of fill, like maybe 10, 15 feet of fill.
Yeah. I can
And-
look
and
that,
so
think
I
know
don't-
where it is.
I don't know the exact border of the conservation easement there.
Yeah, let me, look at it, I believe I know the one you're speaking of, and, in the binder in my office, that was created by previous conservation tech, they have like, supposedly the language in the map of each easement, some of
Right,
them
that's
are
right,
more
that's right.
detailed than others, but I believe that one might have something that I can pull, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Bob.
And then the other is there another conservation easement? Are you familiar with the Taylor community?
Yeah, a little bit.
So, up in the back, up behind Woodside, the building, Woodside Building,
Okay.
there's a big, there's a stone wall, and then there's another property owner, but there's a large area that is undeveloped.
Okay.
And when they first started building, I think they logged it. So there's a skid road in there that
Yeah.
we use as a
Yeah.
hiking
The
trails.
skid road goes in over when they were working on Volpe Way, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a gate? There's a gate back there or no?
There is a gate that is at the end of Kinsman, but not back up there.
Okay.
There is, actually, so, you're right, there is a gate when you go further down the hill toward Union Avenue, there's a gate on the road down there. So I don't know.
Yeah, because remember I had the guy call, and he said he had those yellow signs as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, and I went-
Tom Kinsman,
Yeah, and I went and looked at those,
yeah.
and I called him back, and he never called me back, and I didn't call him back, so, but,
Yeah, he was kind of like, it ended up wrapping up on his end. He just wanted to know if there was like something that he was supposed to be aware of, and I was like, just don't
well,
ATV through the conservation area. I was like, I won't, so.
so it may be it's related to this, I don't know, but anyway.
Did we do our monitoring this year, our easement monitoring?
No,
Okay.
we didn't do it last year either.
This winter.
Did you see this?
In the middle of a meeting.
I know, so what?
I have some things to bring up. If you're done, are you done?
What's that?
Are you done?
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay. So, we have talked about this before, but maybe this would be a good time to hire a wetland scientist to look at the Pickerel Cove area for prime wetlands.
Pickerel Pond.
Pickerel Pond, what did I say?
You said Pickerel Cove.
Sorry. Pond.
So
Especially in light of, perhaps some development down the lane, down the road.
So you'd have to put that out to bid?
depends on the size of the contract. If it's under 5,000, we don't.
That's what he was saying, yeah.
So,
I'm sorry to Deb. This has reminded me of another staff report. Upon my inspections this week at the gardens, that wetland that's in the middle is completely dry. Okay. That is all. I just
Okay.
thought you might want
At the
to know that.
gardens,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one in the middle with the buffer, it's all dried up.
I'm
out there.
sure,
Same with the drainage pond they have at the bottom.
but they know it's a pool.
Yeah, they very much know about that. That was delineated. They have a buffer around it. They're not touching it, but I hiked over just to check on it the other day, and it was like bone dry. That and the lower pond as well. So.
Wow, I'm not surprised.
Me neither. Everything's so dry.
So, I mean, I just think we should do it sooner than later.
so what would be, what's the justification for doing that particular area?
So, because I think it's a prime wetland, and I think, it would be nice to have FB do it, but, that's gonna take a year. And if,
It'll take a year,
you said their report would take a year.
well, yeah, but
Their
that's.
study would take a
But
year.
if we ask them to target that area, it would be about, according to what they've done, what they've said here is less than $2,500.
Right, but I'm just concerned time-wise.
So I think if we told them what we wanted for a time, they would, do whatever they could to meet that timeframe. It's not gonna get put into the whole NRI process. This is, we wanna know about this because Meredith has declared prime wetlands there, and we abut those wetlands, but we don't have a prime wetland designation. So the question is, how do we get a prime wetland designation in the city?
Comes from DES.
Comes from DES. I read you that whole
I-
thing. We
Yeah,
have to
I know
do
that,
the
but,
whole-
so that's fine. So DES says there should be a prime wetland.
I move we inquire with FB Environmental about doing a wetlands delineation for Pickerel Pond.
I'll second.
I just said inquire, right? I didn't say.
Right.
Right, so.
So you want a cost estimate?
And if it could be done
And timeline, yeah.
timely, yeah.
Jen, you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I have thoughts, I just don't know if I should be, how involved I
You should, what?
should be. You know,
Do you have a conflict of interest is what I'm asking?
well, I might.
Okay, I don't know, I'm just, so, she can abstain, I guess?
Yep.
We have enough people that she could abstain, could she?
Yeah, but, okay, so does your property abut Pickerel Pond?
No,
So does it abut the wetlands?
We don't know.
well, I can't say 100%.
Okay.
It doesn't abut the property that is being developed, if that makes sense.
So I think the property that's being developed, my understanding is the property that's being developed is on the right-hand side of Pickerel Pond Road, and the area that we're talking about being prime wetland is on the left-hand side.
It depends which direction you're coming from.
Part of it was on the right too, of the wetlands, because doesn't it cross the road?
It does.
But the,
So it could definitely, it could abut the new project. If there's a new project.
okay. I'll ask them, and I think that the biggest, I'll ask them
It is,
how much it would cost and
private
how long.
property, so that would also have to, you could tell FB it is private property.
So they did say in their proposal, if we wanted to get on if we wanted them to get on private property, we would have to get permission to get on that property. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that if, maybe what we can do is, we can look at aerial photos to see if we can better define the area, because, I mean, if we're talking about 5-acre wetland delineation, that's one thing. If we're talking about 50 acres, that's a different situation.
Do wetland scientists do that?
Do what?
Use aerial photography?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I mean, we should use it so that when we talk to FB Environmental, we talking about them looking at 5 acres or 50 acres or 100 acres. I mean, if what we're looking for is to take the prime wetland delineation for Meredith and extend it onto Laconia property. I mean, actually what we, okay, so,
We have a,
hmm?
we have a vote.
Well,
We have a,
so we can't just vote, we gotta have a definition of what we're voting on.
ooh, Lisa gave one, she,
My motion was to inquire of FB Environmental for them to do, just make an inquiry with them about their availability and cost and time frame to do a wetlands delineation.
and I seconded it.
Okay, but that's great, so now we're having a discussion to better define what we're asking them. I still don't know what we're asking them for.
I thought,
I mean, how far do we want them to go up the road? Because if you go up the road, you're gonna be, I mean, you know, Jen knows better than anybody. If you go up the road, the stream comes right down along the road, right?
but Dean, if we're asking them to delineate the wetland, aren't they the ones, isn't FB the ones that are gonna tell us where the wetlands are? We can't tell them, define these wetlands in this perimeter. I mean, we could say, where are the wetlands? Where are the wetlands? That's what we wanna know. Where are the borders of the wetlands?
We can give them
maybe
an
I don't
idea of
understand.
what we're thinking.
Okay,
Right.
so we're thinking on both sides of the road, including the conservation easement that we have.
Right.
Including the, AC, the dog place, the pet place, because their wetlands goes all along
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I don't
Humane
know-
Society?
I don't know
I
what,
mean, the Humane Society?
yeah, I don't know the delineation for the Meredith wetlands.
Yeah, I
haven't
don't
seen
know
that.
what their delineation is either.
I think.
I mean, their property obviously abuts the conservation property.
Does it?
I believe so. Doesn't it?
Whose?
The Humane Society.
Yes. Yeah, it abuts us,
So,
Yeah,
Dean,
because we wanted to buy it. But not
Did-
everybody thought it was a good idea.
Dean, is what you're saying that, because streams can be considered wetlands too, that we didn't want to include, like, all the way down to, is that what you're trying to say?
So, the wetland, as I remember it, goes from up on the right-hand side, so here's Pickerel Pond, up on the right-hand side, and there's a stream that comes down and winds up, and there's a pond down here, and then on the other side of the road is where the conservation easement is.
Right.
So, if we were to delineate the wetland, if I was to delineate the wetland, I would go all the way up the stream to that property that's,
And there's multiple streams
right.
along that way too. Because there's one next to, like, the little area that you were talking about, across from the conservation.
Mm-hmm,
There's, kind of like a pond there.
mm-hmm.
Right next to that is a stream. And then just on the other side, and then there's, several more, obviously, all the way up the road. And even the other direction.
Yeah.
That go obviously underneath the road, and they're all coming from the wetlands that are out
Up
back.
there that the beavers have created. Right. So, you want them to go all the way up to this private property? Now we have to get on to private property. If I owned that property, sorry. So I think what we ought to do is we ought to ask the applicant that Jen was talking about for a copy of their wetland delineation.
Okay, but that's good for that piece of property, but I'm thinking that large wetlands that abuts our conservation easement and across the street there, that we should, have that designated prime. And that's what I thought we could hire.
Okay, so I think what we need to,
The property on the, sorry to interrupt, the property
okay.
on the, you mean the conservation easement property, not the wetlands across the street? or
No, the whole thing, because it's
That's
all-
private property though as well.
Right,
So,
right.
I would just caution that you've already made the determination it's prime, and we don't know that. I mean, that's why we're getting wetlands delineated.
Professional opinions, right. That's why we're looking for professional.
I'm going to withdraw my motion so that it can be restated with better clarification. So I've withdrawn my motion. And I will, Deb, defer to you. No, not trying to put you on the spot, but between you and Dean, I think something needs to be decided, and I am not aware enough of that area to make a motion.
okay, and I would request that you not withdraw your motion, and instead say, let's use aerial photographs to see how we can better define so that we have a more specific request.
I will amend my motion that the Conservation Commission define, with the assistance of FB Environmental, define the area that we would like to have delineated for wetlands. And discuss with them, should they do the work, how much it would cost and what the timeline would be. That's my motion.
Okay,
I'll second that.
okay, any more discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, all right, so, All right. All right, I'll talk to FB Environmental. And you know what? I'll talk to FB Environmental and I'll talk to Meredith Concom to get a definition of their prime wetland. Because I understand what you're trying to do, and I think it makes sense. And this is like, this is one of the areas that I think it's important for the NRI to give us a better understanding, because that wetland goes on the other side of Meredith Center Road, right? Isn't there a wetland on the other side of Meredith Center Road near Pickerel Pond Road, the end of Pickerel Pond? Because
think-
the school's over there, right?
Yeah, I think there might be something, not as far down as the school, though. It'd be more like directly across from
Yeah,
where
yeah.
the entrance to the road is.
I don't have the,
It might not
Yeah.
be contiguous, though.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is or
Right.
not.
but it's connected underground. But I think it's important to do it, I agree.
Yeah, and I'm just worried about timelines, that's all.
Right.
We'll have it done by the time you get back.
Okay, perfect. I just had one, well, I had a couple of dates. So, October 15th, there is a presentation by New Hampshire Lakes with Amy Smagula, 7 o'clock. It's a Zoom. It's on cyanobacteria, new findings and updates. That's October 15th. You can go to newhampshirelakes.org and sign up for that. We have the annual meeting and conference for NHACC on Saturday, November 1st. Pembroke Academy, that's always great, lots of good workshops. September 26th, there is a easement monitoring field skills. It's in,
September, you said?
yes, September 26th. Well, you guys are New Hampshire. There's also an introduction to wetlands assessment field studies. That's on September 26th, but you'll be taking water samples. That's in Concord. And the Lunch and Learn starts their recycling series. I talked about that before. That starts on Tuesday, September 23rd at 12 o'clock. And that's through NHACC, yeah. And then, Gray, I had a question about, over in the industrial park, that E-Propelled business has a plant over there that they have expanded or they're planning to expand. Do you know anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything about that. Industrial park like Hounslow or like Lexington?
Lexington. Well, I think it's Lexington. I think that's where it is.
What's the name of the company?
It's E-Propelled, so they make parts for drones, and they're huge in the country. They're like #1 in the country, and so they're planning to double their size and hire a whole bunch of other people, and there's been a lot in the paper about them. And all of a sudden I was like, oh wait, have they already built it?
With the office about it.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's all I have.
So, you know, back to the wetland thing, I think I would like to have a aerial photograph, or an aerial photographs, of all the wetlands in the city, and to see how they're interconnected. Because, you know, we're talking about Pearly Pond, we're talking about the wetland that's up behind, behind Blueberry Lane, and then there's a whole wetland on one side of, on one side of Lexington that flows in behind the gas station, which is a really scary thought. We have one leaky tank and we're. So do we have, is that already existing on aerial photographs for the city?
Like, so our GIS maps will show where we already have delineated wetlands, as well as just aerial view, whatever else you can see some of them. Like, for example, someone comes in, tells me their property, I can pull up and see that there's clearly a wetland on their property, but they haven't had it delineated, so it's not marked on the map as an official wetland. But our clearest map is the 2016, but since ArcGIS just published a new general map on their bigger software, I have access to the 2024 images.
Could you also, oh, I'm sorry, could you also do a layer that we like depth to water table or something? That might be,
I could ask Paul. He's our GIS guy. He technically his office is over at DPW, but he's like the software
Could-
guy.
I'm just thinking that might get you some more information for those that aren't delineated as wetlands. If you had like a depth to water table that could at least alert you to, hey, the water's, it's only 6 inches from the surface here, you know, something, so.
It's like.
I wonder if they have that information now.
It's on web soil survey and stuff, I could get it, so.
So there's, there's the wetland from Mike Foot's Pond that goes all the way over to Molten Cove.
Yep.
Initial NRI
Mhm.
back in 2009.
I think I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
Does Jennifer have
Is that what
anything?
you're gonna say?
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Jennifer, did you have something? I'm sorry.
I don't.
So the one thing I would ask you to do is to keep us apprised of what's going on, please.
I will, I mean, as much as I can, as much as I know,
Okay, okay.
but,
And I'll talk to Rob and to Tyler and tell them that we definitely want those guys to come, and we want them to come sooner, not later. So put us at the head of the class instead of halfway down the class. Put Gray on the kid, of course. Okay,
I'll
see-
second your motion, Lisa.
Okay,
I'll second your motion.
so anybody have anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Oh, nobody ever opposes.
I'm
We
gonna
don't have
steal
any
this.
opposed.